Okay, this is AAX, and I've just put a couple of forks on there, and one thing that stands out is um, this volume here and this volume here. And if you have a look at the candles on both those volume spikes, you'll see that they're both a mirror image one of the other. So what that's telling you, a volume spike, obviously there's a lot of selling in that bar, and then you have a volume spike there, there's buying in there, but there's also a lot of selling in the top because price has gone down after that and consolidated for a while. But that's just to show you how a lot of these volume spikes can influence price, further on the track, and then that area there, and this candle here has acted as resistance and has now become support. But anyway, what we can see is we have a good multi-pivot line, the median of this fork, and it's been tracking that, hitting the median, coming back, but now it's failed to reach the median. So that tells you there's a change of trend, and it's fallen out, back tested, fallen down. It's back tested. It's sort of tried to break in there, but I'm not convinced that that's still going up. The other thing you notice is this real low volume in this area here. Tells you there's very low demand. And I've just drawn a simple, that's a trigger line of this downtrending fork here, and that's just simply connecting those two pivots there, a simple trend line. And you can see this last candle has just missed the that trend line. And there's a rule called Hagopian's rule that says if price fails to reach a logical pivot point, or if it pivots before it reaches a trend line, then it will oftentimes reverse past the previous pivot. You do have a little pivot here, so you can say it'll go down probably past there. I'm probably more inclined to be looking at this pivot here though. So I think that's going to come down. You do have, see this real low volume bar here. That sort of tells you there's low supply there, but it hasn't really been acted on. You've got these two big up bars that have been there's no demand behind them, so I think that's coming back down to this green trend line. That this is the overall 23.6 fib down the bottom, this black line, and then you got the median of the fork there as well. So that's as good a place as any, I think, to suggest there'd be some that it's going to go down to. You've got you're starting to get lower lows and lower highs too. So I think there's going to be a bit more consolidation there. What's the next one? CEO. Got no idea what it is. Oops. Yeah, there. Back there. Okay. You can see where it's had this big volume spike here, where the pros have sold out, and you see this high volume area here. They've just there's been a lot of selling, and now price has come back. Let's track this downtrending line. It's sort of had a bit of a crack at it, but it hasn't broke it convincingly. Just notice how price has come back down to a previous area of high supply or high accumulation, high volume. Got this price and volume bar there, and it just seems to have supported there, but there hasn't really been a lot of demand coming in to stop it. It's sort of just exhausted itself down there. So generally you like to see a bit of background strength, which is you'd like to see these down bars, a lot of volume on these down bars, and then price going back up, and that tells you the pros are getting in there and being bullish again. But at the moment we're still having lower lows and lower highs, so that's still trending down. And I'd say your support area would be down in that high volume area there around the 76.4 reverse fib there. You have had a bit of a spike here on this up bar. So you've had effort exerted, and you have had reward. You've gone up past the 61.8% fib, so that could be bullish. It stopped on the 50 fib, but it's actually busted through a resistance point, so you might want to call that a little bit of a breakout. It's done a similar thing back here, where it's busted through that line and ended on that same fib. Then it's retested for supply, and then before trying again, retest for supply before going up. So you might find there'll be a test bar come back down here looking for supply in this bar, so before it moves further up. So it's possible, but still you're really looking for some higher low. You're looking for some higher lows. I suppose it has made a bit of a higher low there, but there's still too much volume in it. I think it'll come back down and retest, but it's possible. Next one is CCU. What do I see? I just put a little fork on here and the fibs. The volume sort of all over the place. It's generally been going up, but now it's got up here. It started to get more volatile. So that sort of tells you that maybe it's hit a bit of a top. You do have a lot of buying in this down bar here at the 38.2 retracement. So you got the volume spike there, but the volume has been sort of, it's only 2 million shares, so you probably can't read too much into it, but it's it is your highest bar for a while, so I'd say that's quite bullish. There's been buying there, so there's your resistance. And you've come up here to this median line, and you've kissed it and pulled away, and that's generally when it does that, it's generally going to come back down and retest this bottom tine here. At least the 23.6 fib, it's going to come down and retest, and it's probably going to retest even into this green bar for supply. So you're looking for a higher lows on decreasing volume. So yeah, so I think I'd call that some background strength there. There's been buying in there, and it'll and once you get a higher low, probably a safe area to buy is around the 23.6 fib and maybe just a bit below that. So anyway, that's CCU. CSR, oops, that's gone cactus on me. Hang on, I think I'll use, there we go. CCR, oh, what have I done? There's a different software package, so no. CSR, I should say, not CCR, CSR. How far? Well, that's going back a year on the weekly. What's that? That's the 23.6 it's rested on. You've got a nice little test bar there, it looks like, testing the 23.6 fib, but it's too much volume to be a successful test. You're still making lower lows, you're making lower highs, so you really want it to bust out of that trend line there and retest. I suppose it's holding above the 23.6 at the moment. but it's not really doing anything very exciting. Close out of there. General Mining Corp, GMM. Okay, there's a couple of things I don't like about this chart. One, you've got spiking volume here on this widespread bar, and then price cutting off. So whenever you see spiking volume, that gives you a hint that maybe there's some professional traders involved, and they normally don't show their hand until they're taking scalps up the top here. And you see this volume bar, see that's selling at the top. That's the pros selling into demand, selling into mum and dads at the top. And that's their kill zone. They're taking scalps up there, and that I mean, look at the volume compared to everything that's gone before. You know, that's, you're not going to recover from that in a hurry. And it sort of tried to, but it's see how it's just not quite making it to that median line. It's that's a sign of that's a little bit weak. And these long wicks, we've got volume increasing here and a long wick closing on the low. That's going to go down, and I don't know where that's going to go to, but I would suspect it'll go below here. If it doesn't can't hit a logical median line, I always assume it's going past the previous pivot, whether it's up or down. So I think it'll keep testing for supply. You've got a couple of, well, you've got a high volume point there, just past the 50 fib, so it might support on the 50. Failing that, you've got the 23.6 down there as well. I don't think it's safe just yet. But we'll just see if it holds in this fork. We'll just see what happens.